What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to For Strategy Gaming. This is going to be game number 2 here between Liquid's HerO and EG's IdrA in the series between these two players. IdrA spawning up here in the 12 o'clock position as our red Zerg player, and then down over here in the 6 o'clock is Liquid HerO as the blue Protoss. Last game, we did see HerO manage to win, opening up Forge Fast Expand, moving into some Void Ray and Phoenix Harass, and then dropping with a Warp Prism a bunch of sentries into the main base of IdrA, keeping him out, allowing him to use some Zealots to snipe down that Infestation Pit, which was the only real threat at that early stage in the game to the Void Rays that Liquid HerO did have. And then that just allowed him to overwhelm him. Once that Infestation Pit was dropped, IdrA really had just way too hard of a time dealing with the Void Rays that were continuously being produced by HerO. So it ended up being a quick victory, and it does look like HerO will be going Forge Fast Expand again this game. Bit riskier on this map. He's going to actually have to formulate a wall in this direction within the box, making his way towards the Nexus that will be located right here. And obviously that leaves this side wide open, so a lot of times you'll see a cannon placed somewhere over here to try to deal with that. IdrA's Overlord, realizing that he was not in that close air position, HerO is in fact going to be located in that cross-positional location, and we do have IdrA right now working his way up to the 15 supply mark, but he will be scouted out right now by Liquid's HerO, and you can see right now just dropping the spawning pool, deciding to stick on that one base, and here it comes. Oh, look at that, actually canceling off the Forge there. I believe that's what took place. I'm pretty sure that he was attempting to build a Forge and decided to just cancel it off. Will he just be waiting a little while longer and go Nexus first? That could very well be what we're going to be seeing here from Liquid's HerO. And there it is, in fact, Nexus first, and then working up into that Forge and Cannon and Gateway. IdrA right now will be attempting to expand, firstly just kind of trying to chase around this probe a little bit. He's very close to being able to afford that expansion, and if he can actually drop it down before HerO manages to drop the pylon, then that is what he will prefer to do. He does have the amount of resources necessary, and with that extra, oh, so very close to getting down that hatchery, but unfortunately wasn't able to. That probe just barely stopping him from doing so, so IdrA is going to have to wait a wee bit longer, and now with the shield recharge, IdrA's drone not recharging fast enough, going to be forced to push back, and a new healthy drone will be continuing to chase down that probe. And are we going to see the pylon actually get dropped down? Is HerO even going to bother with that? Or no, there we go, IdrA managing to sneak it down, but still quite a bit delayed, and those Zerglings are already out as is, managing to kill that probe, which is exactly the kind of small little victory that IdrA needed there. Being delayed so very long at that expansion, he needed something to go in his favor, and getting that one probe kill certainly is better than nothing. So we can see Nexus as well as the Gateway and Cannon all warping in right now, and there you go. So he will have at least a semblance of a wall off in this direction, but again, it's over here that you have to be a little bit worried about. Now the Cannon will cover any Zerglings that may attack the Nexus itself, so the only concern then would be if you have an Assimilator down, you'd have to deal with Zergling harass there, but again, getting a Cannon down right over here would do the trick. Cybernex Core being placed down there, wedged in the corner, nice little safe position. We do have what looks to be a quick third expansion, and yes, IdrA will be playing macro heavy in the early game and just going quick into that third expo. Now we do have 3 guys on the gas right now. IdrA working his way up to that 100 Vespene, which will allow him to come out with that metabolic boost for those Zerglings, allowing him to get a little bit of map control, stop this type of stuff from going on, and oh no, for IdrA, looks like HerO will be scouting out that third. We can see he's actually going to first check up here, or is he just chilling out up here? And we'll be using that for a scout later down the road, or possibly even dropping a proxy pylon. One Overlord just actually missing that probe, heading his way on over towards Liquid HerO's base. He will likely be used for sacrificial scouting later in the road, allowing him to move on in and check the main base of HerO, see what kind of production buildings are going on. And there, in fact, is a proxy pylon, so that will be utilized in the near future. But that probe scout, I'm really surprised he's actually not checking that third. I'm a little bit baffled that that's not happening right now. We got one guy on the gas right here. Metabolic boost coming on through. Back over here for HerO. What is going on? Twilight Council is coming out right now for HerO, so we will have to see what he opts to go for with that. And there we go, actually HerO moving up and scouting IdrA's third expansion. That's exactly the kind of information that he did in fact need. Alright, so Twilight Council getting very near complete right now, and let's see what he decides to do with that. Is it going to be quick DT, or will he be going for some sort of upgrade for those Gateway units? Blink Stalkers, certainly very possible, and something that he may consider doing. We do have that Warp Gate research coming on through. Still nothing from that Twilight Council, so we may have to wait just a wee bit longer. We do have one Zealot moving forward that was warped in from this proxy pylon, and let's see if he's going to be able to do any damage, trying to wedge himself in the corner. Dark Shrine is what we are seeing HerO come out with, so he will be attempting to come out with some DT. Where's the Dark Shrine located? There we go. Nice and safe position. Very safe from any sacrificial overlords that may be moving in, and the Zealot finally does get overwhelmed, managing to get off a few kills, but not that many. We have another Queen coming on through for IdrA. That will be, of course, for his third expansion. It doesn't have any creep tumors down yet. I'm really surprised. He's not bothering to spread that creep even a little bit. And actually, I really like this placement of the proxy pylon because this is allowing him to see things like these Zerglings making their way across the map towards Liquid Hero's expansion. Now, let's see what those Zergling scouts manage to catch. Are they going to manage to catch that Dark Shrine or not? Moving on in, but not quite far enough right now. Trying to a little bit harass. So right now he's got no idea that that Dark Shrine's coming through. Now we do have an Evolution Chamber up. No Spore Crawlers yet, but he does have that option to drop some Spore Crawlers when the time does come, and he spots the fact that the Dark Templar are on the map. And I'm assuming they're going to be warped in from over here. And actually, here comes that Sacrificial Overlord Scout. Not sure that he's going to make it, though, to spot that Dark Shrine. It's actually going to be pretty close, because that sentry DPS isn't that high. So let's see, that Overlord moves on in and just barely misses. It looks like he just oh no, he did catch it. IdrA spotting the Dark Shrine. This is allowing him to immediately drop down those Spore Crawlers. Perfect Overlord Scout there, and very unfortunate situation there for HerO, not having enough DPS to prevent that Overlord from getting that scouting information. Zerglings heading back, getting ready to defend against those DT that are coming in. We have 3, likely to see possibly just 1 going to each base, or he may have 2 here at the third and 1 move into the natural. But again, we do have that Spore Crawler here, and there's a second Spore Crawler coming through as well. Zerglin trying to get us around, but those DT, the DPS is so high that they just turned around and took them out very quickly, and then we'll be pulling it back away from the cloak detection of that Spore Crawler. And just 1 situated over here. That's actually a pretty solid position, and another Spore Crawler over here. So he is fairly well defended in terms of actual vision against these Dark Templar. He's going to be able to see where they are pretty much constantly. Any basically high priority target that those DT may go for are covered right now by the vision of those Spore Crawlers. Now the transition is going to be into Blink Stalkers. Also the level 1 weapons upgrade coming out right now for HerO. DT situated at that Zelnaga Tower. He's going to be A-okay right there, allowing him to maintain vision there. Another DT is actually going to this Zelnaga Tower. And we have another attempted DT harass moving in this direction. I don't think that's going to do much at all. Here we go. Roach is spotting it with the cloak detection there of that Spore Crawler, allowing him to see it, and the DT just managed to sneak in the corner, but still getting back within the range. He is safe exactly where he is, but no place other. If he moves any closer to that hatchery, he will be spotted. And there we go. Actually rerouting that Spore Crawler will allow those roaches to push on in and take out that DT, and there we go. IdrA again, the free DT kill. We do have another Dark Templar moving over here. The third one situated over in this position. Also a small force moving across the map. As this DT going to do much damage, he's trying to move on in and get a few kills, but no, not able to do much. The Dark Templar over here gets taken out as well. Even though losing those DT, this push is still happening right now for HerO, moving his way across the map. He has also worked his way up into the third. Now we've got Pathogen Glands coming out, as well as an in-base hatch, Burrow Research, and a lot of roaches. So we'll be moving in a Roach Infester, moving forward, sniping that Overseer. Will he decide to come out with a few more DT? Actually, no, just pushing back. I'm assuming that had HerO's Dark Templar harass gone a little better, that he would have continued with this push with these Stalkers and those Sentries, but since both those Dark Templar got taken out pretty quickly, he decided just to pull back with his forces. Blink Stalkers pushing forward, allowing them to take out the Zerglings, and a nice force field trapping them on the inside. No problem. Bunch of free kills there for HerO. Fourth expansion rather, coming out over here for IdrA, moving into that fourth. And again, we do have HerO on that third. I'm not actually certain if IdrA has scouted out the third. Looks like he did with that Overlord, spotting the fact that that assimilator right there is obviously a dead giveaway that there is in fact a expansion that will be going up. We have another Dark Shrine moving down, and he will do some damage here. Now the Overseer clearly spotting him, but with no offensive units around right now, he's going to get a couple shots off. But here come the Zerglings. We'll be able to mop him up, dropping down the Zealot as well and moving that out. The Changeling Zealot moving that out to get a little bit of scouting information that's going to actually let him spot this push that is coming forward. So HerO moving across. He wants to try to take out this fourth expansion from IdrA. IdrA prepared for this though. Lots of roaches and speedlings. Get ready to push forward. We get some infestors in the mix as well. Nice force field wall getting plays down for HerO. Some more force field trying to prevent those protect those Stalkers against those speedlings, but no, completely mopped up because of those fungal growths there. Really wasn't enough, but blinking onto the high ground, very nice. And without vision right now, IdrA cannot counterattack at all. Finally moving forward with those roaches, getting some vision on the high ground, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough because the Blink Stalker is going to move away down to the low ground, trying to snipe a few of these units and then continue to push away back towards the home base. Lots more roaches, bunch of speedlings and infestors coming out right now for IdrA. We have Psionic Storm coming out for HerO, working his way up into those High Templar. Nice wall over here, preventing Zergling run-bys from being that effective. Actually coming out with a robotics here as well. And does he completely lack robotics? Yeah, he's got no robotics at all. So burrowed roaches could be quite effective indeed. And IdrA does have the burrow research. One thing I'm not certain though, yes, he does not. Excuse me, oh my gosh. He does not have those tunneling claws. So with the burrow research, he obviously can utilize those roaches, letting them regen, but not able to move them in and do that much kind of harass with that. We do have a Dark Templar up here, and that's going to be scouting the fact that we've got these roaches pushing forward. Fungal growth, uncloaking that Dark Templar, allowing those roaches to take it out. But here comes the push right now for IdrA. IdrA moving out. We do have HerO attempting to prepare to move into this high yield expansion. That clearly is not going to happen. Bulk of the forces for HerO actually pushing back right now to that third expansion. Roaches and infestors situated right here for IdrA. Do we have any type of harass or anything else going on? I'm really considering the fact that DT harass could be constant throughout the course of the game, although it doesn't look like anything is taking place right now. Huge macro going on right now for IdrA. Just look at all the upgrades, just churning out units. We've got that hive coming out. Also have that neural parasite, the melee weapons level 2 coming out as well for those ground units. Bunch of Zerglings. And we have robotics right now preparing for transition, very likely, of course, into Colossus. Now he's starting out with that Warp Prism though, and he will be, of course, using that Warp Prism to warp in some units and try to do some harass to the economy at one of the expansions of IdrA, and quite possibly hitting another expansion at the same time. That's certainly a very popular tactic, trying to basically flank your opponent and hit them at one angle and then drop in another. We have IdrA scouting out for a possible fourth expansion for HerO. Unfortunately though for IdrA, not looking good. He may actually be losing those Zerglings. It looks like he will. He's got really no escape right now, so those Zerglings will be taken out by those Blink Stalkers blinking forward. The rest of the units moving on up here as well. We'd have one DT over here. That gets sniped down though, Overseer, allowing that cloak detection and then allowing those roaches to take them out. Bulk of the forces over here right now for Liquid HerO, and he's actually preparing to move across the map. IdrA just about finished that hive tech here at that expansion, and that will let him work his way up into Broodlords. We can see that Spire almost finished right now. They're moving forward with those infestors, getting some nice fungal growths, but the big side storms going down on those roaches. Nice force fields there as well. Some more fungal growths in response there for IdrA. Those storms effective, but not the best against those roaches. Psionic Storm very strong against light units. We're thinking about Hydras and Zerglings, but the roaches a little more durable, and they can take a little bit more of that harass. And lots of zealots getting warped in over here and forcing the cancel of that fifth expansion. That will force IdrA to actually respond by pulling back his roach force to deal with this. And at the same time, here comes a push from HerO moving across the map. Blink Stalkers, oh no, without vision at the high ground, getting stuck over there. But we do have some very nice Psy Storms at this expansion from the Warp Prism, dropping down those High Templar. We got a few zealots attempt to warp in, but that gets taken out by the Queen and cancels those warping of those zealots. The zealots over here managed to take out that expansion, but not a problem. IdrA eventually able to mop them up, but still losing that expansion. Pretty big deal there. Huge blunder by HerO. Had he got those Blink Stalkers up in the main, that attack would have been much more effective. Unfortunately, lacking the vision of those Blink Stalkers, as we saw, just set there on the low ground, but that was a nice Psy Storm harass. I do want to take a look here. Number of workers killed. Looks like HerO has killed a total of 9 workers so far this game, so IdrA losing 9 drones. Not the greatest, in all honesty, but still doing what he can to try to do a little bit of econ harass. The Warp Prism over here is going to allow him to warp in some additional units. At the same time, we got a push going on. Some nice feedbacks going down on those infestors, sniping them out very quickly. The roaches though continuing to push right now, and oh my gosh, IdrA is going to be able to do a massive damage, but with the Blink Stalker peeling, that's exactly what he needs to drop those fungal growths against those Blink Stalkers. We're having a few zealots warped in as well as that DT, and without the cloak detection right now, IdrA will be forced to push back. And is this Warp Prism going to warp in anything else? We're not seeing anything right now. We can see IdrA again forced to push back right now. He didn't have the cloak detection when he needed it. Overseer finally moving over, but that was just a little bit late. Cannot believe that IdrA ended up losing this expansion. That massive amount of zealots forcing the cancel over here and then sniping out that expansion before the roaches were actually able to take them out. IdrA though preparing to continue to mount an attack. He really does realize he needs to do some damage. We can see right now HerO is quite a bit far behind. I want to take a look at that economy though. HerO does have that advantage at the moment. That is as a result of sniping those expansions of IdrA. We're going to see a push forward. Some big feedbacks going down on those infestors at the same time. We're seeing some fungal growths as well as infested Terrans getting plopped down. Oh no, that Colossus Colossus helping shred through those roaches as well as those Blink Stalkers. We've got an Archon coming on through and the massive amounts of DT plus those Zealots pushing back the forces. IdrA really needed that Overseer up front. That would have helped him against the heavy losses that he took from those Dark Templar. That one right there sitting with 7 kills and continuing to go to town. The Overseer getting sniped down by those Blink Stalkers, going to allow those DT to continue, and IdrA's forces have been pushed back. Another Warp Prism over here. We will be seeing 1 Zealot and 2 DT, and that'll be working on the Econ over here for IdrA. IdrA doing what he can to get a drone surround and try to prevent that from doing too much damage, but here with the Overseer plus the Colossus giving a vision on the high ground, Blink Stalkers blinking right up into the main at the same time. Those Zealots trying to push back those forces. Dark Templar and Zealots destroying IdrA's economy right now. Blink Stalkers in the main plus the Colossus. IdrA is dealing with so much harass and his economy is suffering so much as a result. You can see right now IdrA clearly behind where HerO is. A couple of Infestors though laying down some fun growth, going to help a lot. 2 of them get sniped down by that Colossus, and idle Infestors right there mopping up the rest of the forces though with those roaches plus those corruptors, and IdrA unbelievably able to defend that attack. That was some pretty intense aggression that we did see there from HerO. We also have IdrA now finally up to Broodlords. He's going to be able to start making an offensive with that, and some more Zealots getting warped in over here. IdrA still hasn't spotted this Warp Prism, and he's going to be of course going straight for these expansions. What he's trying to do is starve IdrA, prevent him from getting the resources necessary to be able to make the units that he needs. It's really the Vespian though. You can see IdrA floating quite a bit of minerals, but Vespian is really where he is starving, so he needs these hatcheries up in order to be able to afford those. We do have a few Broodlords, 3 in fact, moving out on this attempted 5th expansion here for HerO. Should be able to do a bit of damage, but those Blink Stalkers going to make things a little bit difficult over there for him. We still do have 4 Zealots over here. They may attempt to move down, although I don't know how much damage they're going to be able to do because we do have a few Roaches over here. And yes, it looks like those Broodlords were pushed back with the threat of those Blink Stalkers there from HerO. And what a game so far, you guys. Pretty intense. I really am impressed by the harass that we have been seeing. And there we go. Finally, IdrA managing to take out the Warp Prism that was over here for a good length during the middle portion of this game, moving down with those Corruptors, but still we did see 2 DT warped in, so those will come into play some point in the not too distant future. We have 2 High Templar as well as a couple of Zealots. The High Templar again dropped down because of that fungal growth, allowing him to get some massive feedbacks off, and also coming out with that attempted Archon. That should be taken out pretty quickly, but that was pretty impressive that he got those feedbacks down before managing to lose those High Templar. Warp Prism and still making it back home. Look at that. So very low, but managed to make it back home, and he'll be pushing right back here, and HerO continuing up the harass. 2 Dark Templar moving down on this expansion. They do need to take out. They're going to get that Infestor. No, actually get fungal growth, and unfortunately for HerO, we'll be losing these without pretty much doing any damage whatsoever. Now we do have HerO getting ready to mount up an attack at the same time, pushing up here, and HerO's constant aggression, hitting from all angles, is so very impressive. He's going to force IdrA to come back to his main to try to defend it, and actually IdRA's going to be losing this Greater Spire. I'm not sure he's going to make it here in time to be able to take it out at the same time. Push coming across the map over here for HerO, and he loses the Greater Spire, takes some feedbacks to those Infestors. Zealots still continuing to fight for their life. We do have another Warp Prism over here pushing up on this expansion, and HerO just constantly hitting IdrA's expansions and crippling his economy and putting him in a very tough spot when it comes to the amount of Vespian that he has, and IdrA just cannot afford the tech that he needs right now. He's dropping down some fungal growths, trying to do what he can, but some huge Side Storms going down on the bulk of the forces here for IdrA will allow HerO to take them out, no problem, and then sniping down those Broodlords, and IdrA calling the good game. What a game, number 2 here, guys, between IdrA and HerO, and that's actually going to do it for the series here between these 2 players. It looks like HerO does take it 2-0. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the StarCraft 2 commentary. As I mentioned in the first cast, I have been quite busy with the Diablo 3 videos, and we will be continuing to pump those out over the course of the next couple of weeks. But I will keep up with the StarCraft commentary, and we will get back to doing those StarCraft videos as well. Eventually, we'll be back to a full, normal, balanced schedule between the games that we cover, which will, of course, be Diablo 3 and StarCraft 2 in the most immediate future. Try to keep things as balanced as possible, 50-50 if we can. And yeah, anyways, hopefully you guys did enjoy this. I love StarCraft. I love Diablo. Love it all. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And as always, keep watching and keep owning.